Hi, this is Cherie from Ayana Productions, and today I am here with author and pastor James C. Block. He's the author of a couple of books. He also did a CD a few years back, and he's author of Yours Because of Calvary, which is a very interesting read, but he did another book prior to that, The War Against the Church, which was a very interesting read. But tell our viewers what you were trying to get through, the message you tried to get through.
Well, The War Against the Church was basically about spiritual warfare that Christians go through. This is sort of like a spiritual warfare 101. First of all, it describes their enemies, how their enemies operate, and how we are to combat each adversary that comes against us. A lot of times I found out in pastoring and counseling that folks are not aware of their spiritual enemies, and therefore they can fall prey to them. That's why I wrote the book. Hopefully it enlighten us and strengthen us that we may be able to go against the enemy and come out successful.
How did you come by getting involved with Pastor Skinner?
Well, I met with Pastor Skinner some years ago, back in 1963 actually. He was having a crusade in Queens, New York at the Polish Hall on 108th Avenue and Suffolk Boulevard. And I was there. My grandmother asked me to take her to accompany her to the meeting. And I was there, and he preached the word of God, and it touched my heart. And at that time, I gave my heart to the Lord. That was my first meeting with Pastor Skinner. And then a year later on, I was fellowshipping with the church, and the pastor there knew Pastor Skinner and introduced me to him. And at that point, he took one look at me and said, I want you to come back and see me more often. And from there, he became sort of like a spiritual father to me.
Has he influenced your ministry?
Oh, to be sure. Pastor Skinner influenced my ministry in the sense of his spiritual gifts. He was a very gifted man. If anybody who's in the Pentecostal or charismatic movement knows that we believe in all the spiritual gifts as mentioned in 1 Corinthians 12th chapter. He was very gifted there. What influenced me more was his prayer life. We often talk about his prayer life. And whatever happens, have a prayer life. And the third way he influenced me was soul winning. I mean, nobody went after souls like Arturo Skinner. I mean, he believed in winning souls, and especially nowadays, it's so needed. Ministers that are out for souls, out to reach the lost for Christ, and he taught us that. And anything else we knew we had to reach the lost at any cost. I don't know if anyone who's as much as gracious as he was, as far as giving and sympathetic to people and helping the young folks, especially during that time in the 60s and 70s. A lot of young people that came to his church were basically from the ghetto, inner city. And he taught them, and he brought us, me included, to different places that we have never had gone in the work for Pastor Skinner. Right? He helped us out in school, and that's all. A lot of them, he paid for their weddings. And I didn't get married until after he died, but he paid for a lot of their weddings, a lot of their schooling. Were paid for by Pastor Skinner. They never would have done what they've done if it wasn't for him and his benevolence.
Yours Because of Calvary. Interesting read. Now, I remember coming up. I remember this man. I remember Pastor Skinner. I remember this man was a powerful minister. I remember going to crusades. I mean, there was standing room only to hear him preach at Madison Square Garden. Yes, you heard me right. Madison Square Garden.
You can pick those books up at Amazon.com if you need to, or ZulonPress.com. Zulon spelled XLUON, press.com. Or you can contact me, P.O. Box 340-828. Jamaica, New York, 11434-0828 if you want one of those books. I'd be glad to. God bless you. My name is James Blocker, and I'm the pastor of the Maranatha Tabernacle. Also an author of the book, Yours Because of Calvary, The Life and Times of Apostle Arturo Skinner. And you are now watching Ayana Productions, your online source for news and entertainment.
Don't forget to pick up those books. Well, that does it for another episode of Ayana Productions. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.